Well, we're here, game week. I know our staff, I know this team is really excited to embark on this. We got into rhythm and routine last week. This will be a full week of prep. Our guys have today off. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and then get into our weekly progression. Know that we have quite a task on our hands. Having a chance to look at Rutgers over the course of the last few months, and having an opportunity to just observe what Coach Schiano has done over the years. We know that we're going to deal with a team that's well prepared, well coached, very fundamentally sound. We'll play a physical brand of football that certainly fits Big Ten football well. Opportunity for this team to go on the road and really see where we're at. Very confident in the way that our guys have navigated fall camp. This past Saturday was a great opportunity for us to get back over to Ryan Field and really get into a game day rhythm and routine for a young football team, for a football staff that has a lot of newcomers, including myself, just to get into that daily or that game day routine and what that looks like from a warm-up standpoint in and out of the locker room, what halftime looks like. I know was really beneficial, to our group. But you can sense the level of anticipation, excitement, where this team is at. We have a confident football team right now. I think a group that understands that there's some really outstanding veteran leadership, complemented with a lot of youthful talent, and there's no doubt that myself and the rest of this group is excited to compete against someone else other than their own teammates, and to do it in a Big Ten format on a Sunday. With a lot of eyes on us, and an opportunity for this group to really start writing their own story is something that all of us are really looking forward to.
Have you made the decision about who's going to be your starting quarterback yet?
We've made that decision. We're keeping that decision in-house right now.
What were some of your takeaways just from the scrimmage and sort of that final opportunity before your actual game?
Yeah, it was very mock game-ish. I mean, everything we were doing were scout looks and an opportunity for us to continue to prepare for Rutgers. But, my takeaways were, number one, this group been on a slow build, and they're amping up to that point where you can tell they're ready to play. The other takeaways, from it were just really have seen this group overall mature throughout fall camp. You can just tell in terms of the way that the offense is operating, the defense is operating. Some of the quirks that we maybe had to work out from the first live scrimmage have started to work themselves out. You can tell that we have a focus group right now.
You had mentioned last week about having a lot of leaders on the team. Have you held elections for captain yet? Have players been selected? And if so, who are those guys going to be?
We have held a vote for it. We have not announced those names yet, but that's something that we plan on doing this week. Excited to announce those names. Excited about not only excited about the results of those, but also just really impressed by the number of young men that were voted for by their teammates. I think it reflects not just a small group of leadership. I think there's leadership throughout our locker room right now that has been absolutely necessary as we've navigated late July and into August.
Coach, Evan Hall's moved on to Indianapolis Colts. Tell us a little bit about that, running that room and how it's progressing.
It's Cam Porter is, he's awesome. I mean, just his maturity and the way that he carries himself in that room. Trey Tyus continues to step up. I mean, just a big back that, as he gets more reps and creates more confidence, is certainly going to be, what you would want out of a traditional Big Ten back, and provide some depth at that position. Joe Hyman continues to just really impress me, and I'm only coming from a perspective of someone that's looking at it through a defensive lens, but just has an explosive quality that we're really excited about. Jake Arthurs just continues to impress. Local kid that's done everything that we've ever asked of him. Incredibly reliable, someone that we'll lean on a ton this year. And then, Caleb Komolafe is a young man, true freshman that, we'll see what his role looks like moving forward. Don't know exactly what that role looks like. Not sure if he's going to redshirt or not. But as a true freshman, someone in that room that has definitely turned some heads as we've gone through fall camp.
And Coach, as a follow-up, with any of those players you just talked about play on special teams?
You know what? All of them are going to be prepared to. But specifically, Caleb is positioned himself to be someone to be considered, and again, we got to kind of weigh those options as a true freshman. But all those guys that we mentioned have taken reps, whether it be in individual drills in special teams or specific scheme. But one thing that we've identified as a staff, considering our current situation and roster numbers, everyone is going to have to play a critical role. And one thing our guys understand is your effort on special teams, in my opinion, having been a special teams coordinator before, is the ultimate reflection about how much you truly care about the team. There's no one comes into Northwestern saying, "Hey, I want to be the starting right guard on punt." But the effort and intentionality and preparation that you put in those special teams, direct reflection of how much you care about the team, and something that our guys understand. And what you even referenced, those. All the young men, that sit in this team meeting room have dreams and aspirations of playing football beyond their college years. There's no better way to create value on an NFL roster early on than to show your value on special teams. And there's no doubt in my mind that our team understands the value not only for this team but also the value moving forward for them individually.
With everything that's gone on this past month and a half, do you get a heightened sense of relief that just the season's here now?
I think it's a good question. I just get a sense from our team, from our staff, they're just ready. They're just ready. They've galvanized. They've come together. Leadership has stepped up. They're ready to go compete. You can feel that in the building. There's no doubt about that.
Is it because of just everything else that was swirling on, and that they can just kind of focus more on football now, or is it?
I think it's a group that's coming off a 1-10 season, a group that certainly has had to navigate a unique time, and a group that's hungry, that's hungry to put on full display what they know they stand for in terms of just the resilience, continuity, togetherness that they've displayed these last few weeks.
Dave, Steve Greenberg from Sun-Times. Your job would be hard enough if it were the one you came here for, given the last couple of months, the human element, the emotions, a new baby. Do you have your arms around what you're dealing with right now? They're ready. How ready are you?
That's a great question. I think the element that I bring to this role, I'm not going to say it's unique. I just know who I am. I am extremely confident in my ability to lead, to inspire, to meet people where they're at, to pull people together for common purpose. And I also believe I have a unique ability to identify the things that I don't know or don't understand and wholeheartedly admit that I don't, and seek, wisdom and expertise to help me navigate that. And I mean, some of that's going on right now with how am I going to manage the game while still calling a defense? Who am I leaning on? How much are we leaning into analytics? I mean, all these things that are going on. And I think step one, not having experience doing that, not having experience doing that at the Big Ten, at the Power 5 level, well, step one in identifying that, say, you know what, I need help here. And I think I have a personality that allows me to do that and seek out that wisdom. Very confident in my ability to lead this team. And I know I've been put in this position for a reason, and I'm confident that I'm up to the task, up to the challenge. But I'm up to it because there's incredible people around me. Our players, our staff, support, outside the program that I've been able to lean on, mentors, people that are willing to pick up a phone call, hey, I really need to pick your brain. I mean, I just there's so many thank yous that I owe throughout this whole process. I'll continue to owe as we go throughout the season, but I know I'm up to the challenge, but I'm up to the challenge because I've got great people around me, and I've been willing to lean into that.
Whether it's kind of addressing the media every week or just speaking to your team, what have you kind of learned about communication throughout this process?
You know, I think with the team specifically, transparency is key. Just being genuine, who you are, is absolutely critical. That's how you build up credibility. A lot of people want to throw around the word trust. You can't demand trust. That's something that you build through your actions. And I hope that anyone that's interacted with me since I've arrived at Northwestern would say that I've tried to do my best in both those worlds of just being as transparent as I possibly can be and just truly being myself. And I think that's what I've learned with opportunities to connect with media. Some of which that I'm close with, that I have known previously. Others that I'm meeting for the first time. But just speak with passion, speak from the heart, be true to who I am, and regardless of how other people interpret that, at least I can walk away from that interaction knowing that I was being myself.
I don't know how it's always been done here in regard to media. I don't know every interaction players may have had with media recently. I'm not aware of any, but not at media days, not here today. Why aren't they here today? And going to New York, you don't know who will be there, but inevitably they're going to be asked questions about what they saw or knew and all those things that. So what's your disposition toward that? What's your policy, if any? Are you trying to kind of shield them in some way? Like, what should people expect?
My policy on that is we're less than a week away from our first football game. I'm here to talk about football. Our players are ready to talk about football. That's what we're going to focus on.
I use the word inevitably, but I mean, is week by week throughout a whole season, do you think that's possible?
Our players are going to be available based on requests and merit of their performance on the field, and we're going to continue. Our players are ready to focus on football, so that's what we're going to focus on.
Was it your decision to not have them available this week?
This week?
Yeah.
Yes.
What went into that?
Our players have been available. We're focused on Rutgers and moving forward into game week to make sure that we stay focused on Rutgers. I felt like it was an opportunity for me to speak on that and allow them to focus on the game plan.
Coach Gavin Dorsey, inside on you. You mentioned that the team has made a quarterback decision. What kind of went into that? Was there I know you guys had that practice at Ryan Field. Was there a breaking point in something like that? What went into your guys' decision to make the quarterback decision, even if you haven't announced it yet?
Yeah, no, it was a difficult one. There's a ton of depth in that room right now. Ryan Helinski has a ton of experience, at this level. Brendan Sullivan, started multiple games for us last year, has performed really well. Ben Bryant, as a transfer, navigated an interesting circumstance, only arriving here in June. Jack Lausch is a young man that has shown flashes of being someone that, as a program, we got to find ways to get on the field. So really excited about the depth in that room. It was not an easy decision, but very confident that there is depth in that room. We will continue to lean into that depth. But like I said, earlier, a few days ago, this locker room and this program is hungry for a starting quarterback and someone that everyone can look to and say, that's our starting quarterback, and that's who's going to lead us to victories. We've made that decision, but just choosing to keep that information, in-house at this time.
You mentioned that you've relied on offensive coordinator Mike Jakin a lot throughout the quarterback process. In the past, he seemed to prefer a dual threat quarterback. Do you feel that a more pocket passer like Ben Bryant limits his playbook, or that a dual threat quarterback like Sullivan opens it up more, or kind of how is that dynamic playing out?
Just observing it from a practice standpoint, tremendous amount of respect for Mike. He's done it at a very high level, multiple places. There's no doubt that the element of a dual threat quarterback finds different ways to stress, a defensive play caller. There's no doubt about that. I think it limits the looks you see coverage-wise, especially, on first and second down, because people are saying, how willing are we really to play single high defense against, an element of quarterback run? How much are we willing to play back to the ball defense, man coverage, if this guy can scramble on a consistent basis? So there's certainly elements to that, but there's also, a true pocket passer that can be efficient with quick game, screens, RPOs, and drop back pass. That's a weapon in and of itself. So, Mike's going to find ways, regardless if he's got a pocket pass or a dual threat back there, he's going to find ways to lean. Great coaches find ways to lean into the strengths of their players. And I'm confident that Mike will do just that as we navigate the season.
David, if you could kind of distill the motivation of the team down to one or two things, what would you say it will be when they're finally out in the open? There's been a lot that's been said about them, a lot that's happened here. This is the first kind of public-facing time that they'll have since everything happened in July.
Brotherhood. Brotherhood. There's a bunch of guys right now that they've come together. They've leaned into one another. They've pushed one another through off-season workouts, fall camp. They've seen some of their teammates go through some things personally, in their personal lives and their family lives, outside of football that have been incredibly difficult to navigate. They've seen injuries that have occurred, which are inevitable in the game of football, but helping guys navigate through that process. And, if you were to talk to our football team, specifically our leadership right now, and describe to us, one thing that, drives this group right now, I think unanimously, I don't want to speak for them, but I think a very common answer would be the brotherhood and camaraderie in the guys that have come together in that locker room.
David, you talked about your roster numbers. A lot of coaches aren't real comfortable throwing young guys out there, freshmen. What's your comfort level with that? Because it seems like you're going to have to.
I think it stems back to some of the things that we've done in terms of our fall camp model. We've found ways to try and double rep some of our team run, to find ways to make sure that our threes are getting opportunities. With our roster number where it was at, maybe those double reps weren't as numbered as initially I may have liked, because we managed that that balance of straining through fall camp, but also keeping our health. But those reps add up. That was intentional in its design, because at some point we're going to have to lean on a freshman to go play a ton of football for us this year. We're going to have to lean on a young man that is a 3 right now, but all of a sudden it's week 7 and he's going to be starting for us. And the fact that young man has accumulated reps and built trust with his teammates, there's going to be a bunch of guys out there that can look to him and say, hey, he's got this. And he's going to be able to look at his teammates and say, you know what, that's what all these banked reps are for. And it's going to have to be a next man up mentality. We can't be in a mode of excuses or explanations. We got to be in the business of being solutions based, and who's going to be our best option moving forward. And at times this season, that's going to involve some young guys, and that's okay. We're excited for those guys to shine when they get their opportunity.
You guys have good friendships with other coaches in the Big Ten. I wonder, did any of them in Indy or since, just sort of reach out to you, say, what, here, call me,
Yeah.
help you through this? And are you helping Fitz? Is he doing that for you?
I've been so impressed with the Big Ten coaches. Whether it be at media day in person, which it was only half the group that day. They split it up into 2 days, as you know. But just a quick hello, or even Coach Schiano, in a waiting room, taking 5 minutes to check in on me and everyone. Text messages, phone calls. It's been it's a special group. And they may not understand what I'm navigating, but they've certainly done their best to show their support, and that's something I know myself, our staff, my family, really, really appreciate. I'm focused on running this program, and running this program right now is the people that are in this building day in and day out.
Alex, Northwestern. In terms of prep for Sunday, with Rutgers having a new OC, how is that has it been a challenge in terms of game planning for them, their schemes and playbooks?
Yeah, it has been a challenge. That's a great question because you're meshing, the current personnel at Rutgers, which certainly has its strengths, and been impressed with positions and some of the transfers that they brought in. And okay, let's find film on, meshing all those pieces together on top of a new scheme coming from Minnesota. What I can say is Coach Chiraka he's done a tremendous job over a long period of time. Certainly knows what he's doing, knows how to attack defenses. We are certainly very aware as a defensive staff of the task that we have on hand for us. And, we can study past years, last year at Minnesota, his time at Penn State. We can go back as far as we want. We know that he's going to find some new things to dress up and give us some different looks. As a defensive staff and a defense side of the ball, we're going to have to do a tremendous job of identifying what looks we're getting early in the game and being willing to make adjustments as we go. But it's that process started back in May. That process has continued, but we certainly have a great awareness, especially with our defensive staff that has a lot of Big Ten experience of the level of coaching that's going on and the task that we're going to have on Sunday.